welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland and a little update video. In this video I'm going to give you an update on our health, on our isolation, our new sort of family routine if you like, and of course my weigh-in. So, just in case anyone hasn't noticed, there's this little thing going around just now called the coronavirus. Just in case anybody's been under a rock. And everybody is probably completely sick of talking about it and hearing about it, but it's affecting everybody's life and we do need to address it. There's no point in burying our heads in the sand. We do need to address it. So I thought I would address how we're coping with it in this video. Now, I would say it's affecting everybody's health in one way or another, whether it's physical or mental. Now, in our case, Jack and Abby and Brooke, I think, have all got or had coronavirus. I, for some reason, seem to have avoided it. Don't ask how, but I haven't had any major symptoms, which is good, but may also be bad, but I'll come on to that. So, as you know, Jack started coughing really quite badly, I would say, on the Thursday that we were in Glasgow, and the Friday he was told to self-isolate. So that was 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and so Jack was self-isolating, and then the news came out on the following Monday that if anybody in the family, in the household, had symptoms, you were all to isolate for 14 days. So the 14 days basically for us is up tomorrow. However, what I'm worried about is the fact that I haven't had any symptoms, none of us have been tested. So if, for example, next week I then start coughing or have symptoms, that then means that we're all having to self-isolate again for another 14 days because we don't know whether Jack and the girls have had it or whether it's been some other bug that they've had. So it's a very difficult situation, I would say. There was word about tests coming out that we'd read last night that they would be available next week in, I think it was Boots and somewhere else, that you would be able to do a home test and it would tell you whether or not you'd had it and you were immune and you could basically get back to normal. Although we still can't get back to normal because the country's on lockdown at the moment, but at least you would know for your own sake, your own health, right, I've had it now, so I'm fine. However, it turns out that that was fake news. They are working on a test at the moment, according to Good Morning Britain or whatever it is on STV this morning. They are working on the test, but they don't know when it will be out. And then when it is out, it will be for like NHS staff, frontline staff first, before it then gets rolled out to people at home. So that's a bit of a shame. As far as Jack and the girls go, Jack is still coughing really badly. He's still really quite tired, but he's feeling a lot better. He was affected in quite a lot of ways. He was very tired. He was falling asleep all the time. He was struggling to breathe, and his legs were quite sore as well. So he's definitely had it. Abby has had a really bad cough, but other than that, hasn't felt too ill. So I think at first everybody thought that kids weren't getting it. But it's documented now that kids do get it, they just don't tend to get it too badly. So I do think that Abby's had it, but it's just affected her in a much milder way. Brooke has been a strange one because she has coughed, but not an awful lot. She more had a really sore throat and a runny nose, and she's been very sick. So I thought it wasn't the coronavirus, but then I looked up symptoms in children, and yeah, sore throat, runny nose and vomiting are signs of the coronavirus. Now Brooke is feeling pretty good through the day. At night she starts to feel a bit headachy and not great, and then first thing in the morning she's still being sick, and that's not good. However, she is getting over the sickness quicker in the morning now. She was only sick once this morning, which was good. So that's how they are physically. Mentally, it's affecting people in all sorts of ways. Stress is a major thing, stress and worry. And it could be health anxiety, it could be worrying about family members, it could be worrying about money, it could be worrying about, I don't know, just when life's going to get back to normal. There's so many things that can affect your mental well-being at this time, and of course the fact that you're isolated, that you have to stay indoors, you've not to go to work if you don't have to, you're only meant to go out once a day, that sort of thing. And I think, although I've not been affected physically, mentally I definitely have. I've had a lot of stress, a lot of worry, and that's about all of the above. I've been worried about Jack and the girls, I've been worried about my mum and dad because they're over in Falkirk. They say they're perfectly fine, but they've both got sort of underlying health issues, so I've been worrying about them. I've been worrying about money. Jack's working from home, so he's not got any overtime at the moment. Just all sorts of things. I've been worrying about shopping. Oh, that's been absolutely crazy. I say that our self-isolation is coming to an end. We did actually have to go to Asda on Monday. You would have seen in my last video, because I did have a delivery booked from Asda on last Saturday, but they cancelled it saying that I hadn't checked out on time. So we basically stayed in as long as we could, but by Monday we had completely ran out. We had to go get shopping, and there was no delivery slots, no click and collect slots for 3 weeks. So, in fact, no, it was 2 weeks. It was 3 weeks from when I discovered that my Asda delivery had been cancelled. So I have got a delivery coming on Monday, and I think what I'm going to do is, after that, I'm going to try to take the girls with me anytime we need to go, because we'll be out of isolation by that time, and it means it's freeing up other slots for the more vulnerable people or people who are still self-isolating. But because I've already got this slot booked, I'm going to keep it for Monday, and then we'll just go out shopping when we need to after that. Sorry about the dogs padding about, you know what they're like. And Ranach wants out. 2 seconds. So that's where we're at health-wise. In terms of adjusting to a new sort of normality, if you like, that's been very difficult as well, and I think that's had my head in quite a bad place as well. Adjusting to being on my own pretty much all day, every day, to having the girls learning from home all day and being responsible, or feeling responsible for that, and having Jack working from home and worrying about making noise or the dogs getting in his road and the internet. Yeah, so it's a completely new life for us all, and we're trying to get into a routine, and I think we're getting there, to be fair. This morning I felt a lot more organised, and I think this is going to be my new routine going forward. Now, I found out yesterday through, I can't remember what vlog it was that I was watching, probably everybody else in the world knows, but I didn't know until yesterday, that Joe Wicks, the body coach, is doing a live PE session at 9 o'clock every morning on his YouTube channel for everybody across the world, for kids, for adults, for anybody who's self-isolating or not allowed to go out because of the lockdown, just to basically keep your body and mind active. So we tuned into that at 9 o'clock this morning, and it was fun. Obviously I was restricted to what I could do with being in the wheelchair, but the girls were joining in, and I was just adapting exercises as I could. Now, if you haven't known about it, I would highly recommend that you check it out. Because it's on YouTube Live, it means that the videos are there all the time. So if you miss it live, you can always go back and do it at any time through the day. However, what I found this morning was it gave you something to be up and ready for. So I had, the girls got up about 8 o'clock, got dressed, got breakfast, got organised for the day. I was already up. I had went on to the Google Classroom for Brooke and written down all the work that I want her to do today. So I was organised for that. Don't know if you can hear Jack sneezing in the background, he's having a massive sneezing fit. So I had all that done, and then it meant that at 9 o'clock we were ready to go, and it really got the day started. It was like, yes, that's us, we're going for the day now. So if you can catch it live, I would definitely recommend it. Sorry about Jack sneezing. You okay through there? Yep. Yeah, and there was also a good sense of community, like not feeling on your own, because there was about 10,000 people watching from all over the world. There was people from India, from Australia, from Britain, obviously. And it was really, really good to think, well, we're not on our own, we're all doing this together. And it made us feel active and motivated for the rest of the day. So I think that's how I'm going to start my day, or our day, every day, Monday to Friday. We're going to get up about 8 o'clock, or I'm already up anyway, getting things organised by then, but get the girls up at 8, get them dressed, washed, breakfast, all the rest of it. PE at 9 o'clock with Joe Wicks, and then getting the work started. And I don't need to write down work for Abby because she knows what she has to do. And they're going to have set work for the day, and as long as they get that achieved, I'm happy. Because I was stressing out that every minute of the day they had to be doing schoolwork, and then I thought, but it's not a normal situation, and even when they are at school, they're not doing schoolwork every minute of the day. So as long as Brooke gets done the work that I've written down for her, and does some reading and some arts and crafts, or maybe some music, that sort of thing, then I'm going to be happy. I was stressing out all of last week and the beginning of this week. I was stressing out, we're not doing enough work, we'd have to get all this work done. And really, why? You know, it's as stressful for the kids as it is for us, and we need to remember that they're living history as much as we are, and it's important for them to learn about what's going on as well as learn the schoolwork. So there's more to it than just schoolwork. And this morning as well, we were sitting and a couple of little birds came to we've got nuts outside and a wee bird feeder, and there was one of the birds that we didn't recognise, and we're like, well, that could be an activity for today, is learning about different birds that are in the area. So it doesn't need to be all about maths and English and spelling and reading and things like that all the time. So I'm going to give myself and the girls a bit of a break there. I was expecting them to cheer just now. I said, I'm going to give you a bit of a break in terms of formal education. There's other things that can be learned from this than just... Yes, I. So, I think we are slowly adjusting to our new normal. And who knows how long it's going to go on for, and we will just try to stay flexible and take every day as it comes. I think that's the most important thing. Right, so that is the whole health and the whole routine thing. Now we have to come on to eating. I said in my update last week that I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to stay keto throughout all of this, and the short answer is no. As of last Thursday, I have not been keto at all. Not only have I not been keto, I have been eating so much junk, it's unbelievable. And I knew it was going to happen because that is my brain's default setting. If I'm stressed or worried about anything, I eat junk. If there's a change to my situation, my circumstances, my routine, I eat junk. Any excuse to eat junk, my brain will take it. And that's exactly what I've done. I told myself it was because I couldn't get keto food. Now the shelves, the fridges and everything in Asda were pretty bare. But if I really, really wanted to, I could have. My mum's managed to stay keto through it because I think I mentioned a couple of videos ago that she had been really ill again with angina and realised that she hadn't had any angina attacks while she was keto. So she went back to keto, and she's even been baking bread and flatbread and crackers and all sorts of things. I'm really proud of her, I have to say. So if my mum can do it, I could have done it. I know I could have done it, but my brain just said no. So I said no. And not only have I been eating the wrong foods, I've been eating too much of the wrong foods. I have to say though, one good thing, I have still been intermittent fasting. I've managed that. Normally when I'm eating carbs, I find it very difficult, but I've actually found my eating window changing again over this last week. I stopped eating after my dinner, which isn't like me. Normally I would need to have something else to eat, maybe about 6 o'clock. Traditionally I always ate at night, that was my worst time. And then when I started intermittent fasting, I stopped eating at 8 o'clock at night. Then I got it down to about 6 o'clock, 6:30. This week I've not had anything after my dinner, so about 5 o'clock really I've been fasting from, which is great. And yesterday morning I broke my fast at 9:30 when it could have been 9 o'clock, and I could have broke my fast at 9 o'clock this morning. It's now 10 o'clock and I still haven't. So I'm fasting as long as I can, which is great. It's fantastic. It's so good for your body, not just in terms of you're taking in less calories, but there's so many different benefits for your whole body, your brain, your digestive system, everything. And I've already done other videos on that, so I'm not going to go into details, but intermittent fasting is really good for you. So I'm glad that I've managed to stick to that. And it's interesting how my body is finding its own sort of timings that it's wanting to eat, which is fab, it's great. But I am feeling crappy for it. I am bloated, I'm starting to feel sick when I'm eating the junk. I'm really not enjoying the chocolate as much as I used to, but I'm still eating it. Crazy, absolutely crazy how I bring. It's cause of my girl? Yeah, possibly. It's not, it's habit, Abby, it's because I've done it all my life. And it's so difficult to get out of. And I would say that I've even been close to binging this week, because it's been like, well, I'm not keto, I want the carbs, gimme, 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 gimme. And I've been eating for the sake of it, even when I've not been hungry through the day. And I'm really, the last couple of days I've managed to kind of calm that down a bit. So that is how COVID-19 has really affected me. It's affected my head and it's affected my eating. And I did step on the scales today. I didn't know whether I should or not, but I thought, no, I'm going to do it. I told you I would, and I need to do it, or else I would completely just go to pieces. So last week I was 135.4 pounds. This week, when I stepped on the scales, I was 139.2 pounds. So I've put on 3.8 pounds in a week, which is bad. I'm now the heaviest that I've been since January, and I'm miserable with it. I'm really miserable. I do want to try to get back onto keto again. I prefer eating that way, and I feel better in myself. I know it's not going to happen until Monday at least, because we're getting our shopping delivered. Can't remember, is it maybe between 1 and 2 on Monday? So I might be able to start Monday if I've got enough in the house. In fact, I probably won't. I don't know. It'll either be Monday or Tuesday that I'm going to start getting back on it, and I'm going to stick to it as much as I can. However, if I feel myself getting stressed out about it, I'm going to not force myself, because I want to do it because I want to do it, and not because I feel like I have to do it. So I definitely want to get back on it from the start of next week, but if it's not working for me, I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I think we've all got enough pressure on ourselves from every other area in life just now. So that is the plan. I'm hopefully going to get back on it, and hopefully next week I will have some sort of loss, but then again, it will only really be half a week keto, so there might be another gain next week. We'll see. We will see how we go. But that is where I am with everything just now. So I wanted to just give you this little update. In general, we're fine. I'm demented having the girls and Jack at home all the time. I was waiting for that. But we're all getting used to it. Everybody's demented. The girls aren't used to being around us all the time. Jack isn't used to being around us all the time. So it is really, really difficult, but we're making the most of it. How are all of you doing? Please let me know. Have you had to be isolated? Are you still isolating? Are you in a vulnerable group and you're feeling worried? Are you managing to deal with the kids okay? Let me know how you're getting on. We are all in this together, and like I've said in my other videos, I'm available on email and on Instagram. If any of you want to chat about anything, please feel free. I know how you're all feeling. I'm not sleeping at night again, which is rubbish. Probably because I'm eating rubbish, but also because I've got so much going on in my head as well. So if you're in the same boat, please feel free to let me know, either in the comments below or email me or Instagram me. All the details are in the description below. Please excuse my voice. I hope that's not me starting to get symptoms, because then there won't be any break from isolation. That would be a bummer, wouldn't it? Right, so I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know how you're all doing, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks everyone. Bye!